The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has concluded from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we see a late last lap pass by Austin Hill to pick up his second victory of the 2023 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series race from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Alska Uniforms 300. We got quite a bit to talk about from the race, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So, before the green flag dropped in today's race, a bunch of drivers had to start at the rear of the field because they were treating this race as a doubleheader. With damage from Auto Club, you had to go to the rear if you had to make some changes for this weekend at Vegas. So, Sheldon Creed, Josh Berry, Brandon Jones, Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, and Greg Galding went to backup cars. Patrick Emerly had a driver change taking over for CJ McLaughlin. Brendan Poole, Ryan Ellis, Alex LeBay, and Garrett Smithley all went to the rear for unapproved adjustments. So at the start of the race, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Justin Allgaier on the inside, and we were able to see Chandler Smith get the race lead. Chandler Smith would lead for a few laps, and then the first caution came out on lap 3 of the race for Park Clearman, who got contact with John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek got way too impatient on lap 3 of the race, very similar to the spring race last year where Ty Gibbs got into Ryan Sieg on lap number 3. We saw Park Clearman get spun by John Hunter Nemechek. I know Nemechek wants to get to the front and is frustrated, but it's lap 3. You got to be impatient, but luckily, Kligerman did not have any other damage from that. So on the restart, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Justin Allgaier on the inside, and Justin Allgaier was able to get a really strong run and was able to clear for the race lead, and then he was able to lead for a few laps, and eventually Chandler Smith actually got back to the race lead from Justin Allgaier, but Justin Allgaier got it back. Then we saw Chandler Smith have some debris on his grill and started dropping back, and then eventually John Hunter Nemechek, who was about 5th or 6th at a time at the beginning of the restart, he got up front and was able to take the race lead from Justin Allgaier and was able to start pulling away. And coming out the final corner, John Hunter Nemechek would win stage number 1. All the lap cars end up coming down pit road. Austin Hill winning the race off the pit road. Alex LeBay unfortunately lose a tire during his pit stops and would get a penalty. And also, Josh Bilicki would basically get a penalty for speeding. So on the restart, you had Austin Hill lead the field from the inside with John Nemechek on the outside. And we saw Austin Hill be able to get a really sharp run and able to get the race lead. Then John Nemechek also said he was basically got the lead back from Austin a little bit later, and he actually was rating that he had a vibration, and then we saw Chandler Smith get around John Nemechek for the race lead. Then we saw the next caution come out a lap later for Josh Berry, who was battling around 10th position, get loose under the inside of Riley Herbst, spun out through the grass, didn't get any damage, but that would bring out the caution. During that caution, John Nemechek would come down pit road for a loose wheel, and Josh Berry also came down for repairs and new tires. So on the restart, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Justin Allgaier on the inside. And we also saw Justin Allgaier actually get the lead. But Justin Allgaier would actually end up getting a restart violation for going below the inside line before the line came out. It's going to be a controversial call, but I think NASCAR made the right call in that decision because you can't go below that line. And a few laps later, you have to come in for a passenger penalty for that restart violation. Then we saw Austin Hill able to get around Chandler Smith for the race lead, and we saw Chandler Smith also having some issues as well. It started falling back due to potentially a vibration and basically had a loose wheel. As they're coming to the white flag at a stage with Austin Hill having the lead, Roger Kroof ended up spinning going into turn number 2, bringing out the final caution of the race, and Austin Hill will come off the corner and win stage 2. We saw leaders end up coming down the road. Josh Berry actually only did a fuel-only pit stop, and Austin Hill actually won the race off of pit road. A couple drivers get penalized, Ryan Sieg and Jeremy Clements. So on the restart, Austin Hill lead the field on the inside, and Kyle Busch on the outside, who haven't really mentioned much, this course was his return to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He actually was able to get the lead from Austin Hill and led for a few laps, but eventually Chandler Smith got by Kyle Busch a few laps later to get the race lead and started pulling away. Eventually, we kept going for a long time with Chandler Smith having a really, really big lead, and then we saw a green flag pit stop start happening with 61 laps to go with Kyle Busch coming in first. Then Chandler Smith for the lead, he came to pit road. Then Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill came down pit road a few laps later, and then basically all the rest leaders ended up coming down pit road, and Chandler Smith was able to actually get by Austin Hill back to the race because Austin Hill actually used it to get the lead, and then Chandler Smith got the lead back. Meanwhile, in the it looked like this was going to be a Chandler Smith victory near the end of this race. Sammy Smith had some problems on pit road, but unfortunately, it looked like Chandler Smith was going to win this race pretty easily. And then around 10 laps to go, I noticed that Chandler Smith was getting caught up by Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier. It seemed like Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier had much faster cars near the end. And as it came to the final few laps, he was within 4/10 and 5/10, and I thought this was going to be an easily Chandler Smith victory. But no, it wouldn't be an easy Chandler Smith victory as Austin Hill got to the inside coming to the white flag of the race and in very shocking fashion passed Chandler Smith for the race lead. Chandler Smith be able to hold on to second position because Justin Allgaier tried to end up actually got around and Justin Allgaier got to come to the checker flag. But Austin Hill would make the last lap pass, and coming out the final corner, Austin Hill steals a victory from Chandler Smith and picks up a second victory of the 2023 season and his fifth career, I believe his fifth career NASCAR, or fourth or fifth career NASCAR Xfinity Series victory. Huge congratulations to Austin Hill on winning. Austin Hill had one of the strongest cars in the race for sure. Made up a lot of ground, stole the win from Chandler Smith. It looked like it was going to be Chandler Smith winning, but massive congratulations to Austin Hill. He deserves to win and picks up his second win. I think Austin Hill's starting to emerge as a championship threat. He's been up front finishing races, did really well at Auto Club. I think he finished in the top 10 at Auto Club, and now has a very good run and gets 2 of the first 3 victories. Really great stuff for Austin Hill, and I think that RCR's got some really good speed, especially for Austin Hill, and I think he's a championship threat already. So huge congratulations to Austin Hill on picking up the victory. So now we're going to go through the results of tonight's race, and I'll give you my score for today's race. So Austin Hill picks up the victory. Justin Allgaier finishes second. Justin Allgaier had a really fast car. I think he had a car that could have challenged for Chandler Smith. Unfortunately, that restart violation put him and set him back a little bit, but a great rebound for him to finish second. Amazing run for Justin Allgaier. Chandler Smith finishes third. I think Chandler Smith really had the best car all day. Unfortunately, near the end, the car kind of fell off, but to finish third, I think he's going to win a lot of races this year. This is a learning thing for him. He's a rookie. He's going to learn. There's only 6 career NASCAR Xfinity Series start, mind you, and the fact he's contending for wins, it makes me really confident. I thought this was going to be his day to get his first career victory, but still a really great day for Chandler Smith. Led over 100 laps. The first time he's really led a lot of laps in his Xfinity career. He's got to shake it off and focus on trying to win a championship because I think he's going to be a championship threat. Kyle Busch finishes fourth. Good run from Kyle Busch, though. I think a lot of people picked him coming this weekend to win the Xfinity Series race. And the top 5 is still very solid. I don't think that 10 car is really 100% up to par, and Kyle Busch will as good as his other teammates and as good as like the Joe Gibbs cars were when he drove in Xfinity. But to see Kyle Busch come back this Xfinity was really, really fun. And it finished fourth. Still a great run. He led a few laps today, but it just seemed like that car struggled most of the day. But still, a top 5 run for Kyle Busch is really great nonetheless. Though in Xfinity, you expect him to win, but he still finished top 5. Solid run for Kyle Busch. Josh Berry finishes 5th. Great comeback from Josh Berry after the spin. I think Berry had a really, really fast car and a great comeback for him to finish in the top 5. You'll love to see it. John Nemechek finishes 6th. Unfortunately, he never recovered from his issues in the race, but to finish 6th, he still a solid recovery. I think he had one of the fastest cars in the race today as well. Led a lot of laps and won a stage. I think he's still a championship threat. This is his worst finish of the year, and that's 6th place. Has had a great start to 2023 regardless. He finishes 6th. Sam Mayer finishes 7th. Again, being really consistent. Had a runner finish at Auto Club and to finish 7th in this race. Great run from Sam Mayer. Was in the top 5 near the end. Kind of fell back as the run went on, but to finish 7th, still a solid run. Riley Herbst finishes 8th. Finishing the top 10, clicking off top 10 after top 10. That's going to help you in your position when you're trying to make the playoffs. A great run from Riley Herbst in 8th position. You'll love to see it. He needs to have a lot of good runs and try to be a championship threat this year. He's had a good start to 2023. Sheldon Creed finishes 9th. Sheldon Creed struggled in the early portion of the race, but by the end was up front and gets a top 10 run. Saw a run from Sheldon Creed. Daniel Hemrick has basically been on crutches the last few weeks. He finishes 10th. Very solid run for Daniel Hemrick in 10th position. He hopes to have a much better and more as he continues on, but to finish 10th, very solid regardless. Parker Kligerman, after having his spin-out issues, he bounced back to finish 11th. That's a solid run for Parker Kligerman today. He's got it. I mean, that team as a team is kind of newer and stuff, and they're still working on it. I know they won last year with Tyler Reddick, but to finish 11th is a pretty good run. Cole Custer finishes 12th. Cole Custer struggled today for the most part. I was really surprised how far off Cole Custer was because this is the first time this year where Cole Custer has struggled. And I know Cole Custer said historically he's not been really great at this track, but still, I thought Cole Custer was going to have a better run today, but 12th is the best he could, and he was outside the top 20 a lot of the day, so he finished 12th, all things considered. Tyler Reddick finishes 13th. Not a bad run from Tyler Reddick. He'll start at the rear of the field for the Cup race tomorrow. Also want to mention Josh Berry's doing double duty and substituting for Chase Elliott tomorrow. Jet Byrne finishes 14th. Not a bad run. Joe Graf Jr. finishes 15th in a Joe Gibbs car. He finished 15th. That's not good. In a Joe Gibbs car, you're expected to be a championship driver. Well, he's not a championship driver, but you're expected to run really, really good. He struggled at Auto Club. I know he finished 12th at Auto Club, but he finished 15th and ran outside the top 20 at points. And considering his teammates were out for him most of the day, I know Sammy Smith finished worse than him, but still, he's got to run better than that. He finished 15th. Kyle Weatherman, how about him finishing 16th? Last minute put in for the O2 car this weekend at Bauer Motorsports and gets the best out of the equipment. I think Kyle Weatherman is one of the most underrated drivers in the series, and a good run from Kyle Weatherman. Sammy Smith, after having multiple penalties on pit road, he bounced back to finish in 17th. Not a great run from Sammy Smith, but he's got to shake this off and try to bounce back and have as good a run as he had at Auto Club, where he unfortunately also spun out. Just has had some bad luck this year. Alex Abay finishes 18th. Anthony Alfredo finishes 19th. Kyle Seek finished 20th. Brandon Jones finished 21st. Tough start of the year for Brandon Jones. And Brandon Jones had a fast car for the most part. Kind of fell back near the end. Was probably going to finish around 10th. Unfortunately, though, for Brandon Jones, he had multiple speeding penalties that cost him an opportunity at getting a really strong run. He finished multiple laps down in 21st. Brett Moffitt, who was really strong early in the race, and I feel bad for Brett Moffitt. He's contending early in the race, fell back, finished 22nd. Team's got a lot of work to do. He finished 22nd. Kaz Gralla finishes 23rd. Ryan Seek finishes 24th. Jeremy Clements finishes 25th. Roger Carew finishes in 26th. Ryan Ellis finishes 27th. Bailey Curry finishes 28th. Jeffrey Hart finishes 29th. 30th for Josh Williams. 31st for Josh Walicki. 32nd for Greg Galling. 33rd for Brendan Poole. 34th for Patrick Emerling. 35th for Blaine Perkins. 36th for Garrett Smithley. 37th for Parker Retzlaff. And 38th and finishing last is Joey Gase. So now I'm going to talk about the race overall as a whole and give you my thoughts and score on today's race. Honestly, this was a pretty straightforward NASCAR Xfinity Series race in Las Vegas. You had a really good finish here at the end, which was really, really exciting. But for the most part, it was really straightforward. Only had 4 cautions in this race, which is really low for the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Had a couple spinouts in the race, but generally the racing was solid. I know it kind of got strung out at points, but there were points in this race especially where it was really, really solid, and I enjoyed it. Great battles throughout the field. And I really did enjoy this race. It had a really great finish to end it off. A late last lap pass for Austin Hill to seal the victory. And honestly, I thought it was a pretty solid race overall. My score of today's Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I'm going to give it overall 7 to 7.5. I'm going to give it a 7, and actually, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 for today's Xfinity Series race. It was a very solid race overall. I really enjoyed it. I wish there was a little bit more excitement through the middle portion, but it's still a very solid race overall. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. So, that is going to be today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below with that, and comment your thoughts below on tonight's Xfinity Series race. What are your thoughts on tonight's Xfinity Series race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate Austin Hill picking up his second victory of the 2023 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. Tomorrow on my channel, we're going to have multiple videos on the channel. We're going to have the starting lineup video, of course, for the Cup Series race, the Pennzoil 400. And we are also going to have the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Then on Monday, there should be NASCAR news. We're discussing the Chase Elliott Fall, among other things that we've got kind of talked about over the weekend. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.